Firstly, Harry, how are you? How was your time at home? Was it, long enough to reflect on everything that happened in Australia and New Zealand?
Yeah, it was very cold at home. It's nice to get back out to a hot country, but it was nice to get home, spend a bit of time with the family and some friends.
Can you just explain to us what happened in Wellington the night before that third one-day international?
I'm not going to go into any details, but obviously I made a terrible mistake, and not only as a player but as a captain, it's very unprofessional. I should be leading from the front and showing the players how it should be as a professional cricketer and a captain, and I put myself in a bad situation which I shouldn't have done. I've learnt from my mistakes. I've reflected a lot on what's happened, and I know it wasn't the right thing to do, and I want to say sorry to my teammates, to all the fans that travel far and wide to watch us, spend a lot of money on coming out to watch us play cricket and supporting us, and to the ECB for putting them in a tricky situation. And it'll never happen again, and like I said, I'm extremely sorry.
You said you put yourself into a situation that you shouldn't have done. Why were you out drinking on that evening, and is that something that normally happens the night before a game?
No, it definitely doesn't. We just went out for some food, and we just said let's go for a drink, and there was no intention of going out, no intention of putting ourselves in a tricky situation. It just managed to happen, and obviously if I had my time again, I definitely wouldn't do it again.
There was an incident outside a nightclub that you felt that you needed to tell about. You felt that you needed to tell the management about what happened.
Yeah, definitely. If I hadn't have told them and I didn't get them punishments, then the punishments would be even worse and more severe. So I'm glad that I told them. I trusted the ECB in telling them that I've made a mistake, and thankfully I'm still playing cricket for England, and that's a childhood dream. And like I said, the punishments could have been a lot more severe. So I'm glad that I told them, and that we dealt with it.
Did you tell them straight away before the game?
No, I told them mid-game. I felt like I needed to reflect on it and try and come up with a plan to negate what had happened, really.
Was it resolved before you went to Australia?
We'd sorted the disciplinaries and the fines before that.
Did you think you'd be sacked?
It was definitely playing through my mind, definitely, and like I said, thankfully I'm just playing cricket for England now, and I can concentrate on what we've got going forward. And as a captain, I know that I've made a mistake, and that's not setting the example. So me as a player and a leader now, I've got to try and take this team forward and see what we can do over the next coming weeks and months.
Did you consider resigning?
No, it never came into my mind. I left that decision to the hierarchy, and look, if they'd have sacked me from being captain, then I'd have been perfectly fine with it as long as I was still playing cricket for England.
Do you feel like you're lucky to still be in the job?
Probably slightly, yeah. But like I say, look, I'm just even if I had have been sacked, I'd have held my hands up and said, look, I've made the mistake, and I'd have been perfectly fine with getting sacked from the job as captain as long as I was still playing cricket.
Obviously, this didn't come out in the media until after the Ashes, but you knew it had happened. Was that hanging over you during Australia? Did you feel like it affected your performances?
No, I just thought that they were a better side than us. They played much better cricket than us.
But you personally, your personal performances?
No, definitely not. I think I thought it had all gone by, to be honest. I didn't think it would ever come out, and obviously we got struck with it after the last Test match, and I don't think it affected my performances at all.
Knowing what had happened in Wellington, why were you so open with things like drinking in Noosa? Why were you happy to be photographed in bars and things like that?
Well, we weren't exactly happy to be photographed. We were looking over our shoulder every second to see if there was a camera there.
Quite public though, wasn't it, to be drinking on this side of the road?
Yeah, definitely. And look, we're in such a high pressure situation and series with the Aussies being as good as what they are, the country with press, paparazzi following us around everywhere, and it's just nice to be normal humans, go out and have a drink and try and relax, and yeah, that's one way to take your mind off the game, is just having a drink with a few mates. We were drinking responsibly, bar one situation. Other than that, we were completely in control of what we were doing, and we were just going out and having a drink, and it was nothing silly.
What do you think about suggestions of a drinking culture in the team? Is that fair?
I don't think there's a drinking culture at all. We're all old enough and grown up enough to be able to say no if we don't want to drink, and grown up enough to be able to say yes if you do want to drink.
But is there a curfew in place now?
Yeah, there has, and that's been made a group decision. We think that it's the best thing going forward for the time being to be able to put us in situations where we can win games of cricket and perform at the best of our ability.
Do you think, I don't know, grown adults and professional athletes should have to agree that you've all got to be back in a hotel at a certain time to get the best out of your performances?
I don't know what it's like in other sports, but it's probably a lot stricter in rugby, football and stuff like that. So I think for the time being, I think it's fair enough. Yeah, and look, it's only in our best interest to try and go out there and perform at the best of our ability and take this team forward.
Back in Melbourne, Rob Key said to us that maybe the decisions the management had taken about preparation and some of the things that had been taken around the tour didn't give the players the best chance of succeeding in the Ashes. Did the players give themselves the best chance of succeeding in the Ashes with their off-field behaviour, attitude towards training? Do you feel like you gave yourself the best shot?
Yeah, definitely. I think you've got to be able to relax away from the game. We obviously had that week off in Noosa, and that was a perfect opportunity to go and relax, downtime, take your mind off cricket, have a couple of drinks here and there, as long as you're drinking responsibly. Our preparation, I think, was good enough to do. It was the best preparation I've had before cricket, apart from that incident in New Zealand. But yeah, we still trained as hard as we ever do. We still worked hard away from cricket, gym-wise, running, and yeah, I think we just got outperformed throughout the series.
There are other ways to relax, though, aren't there? Other than drinking. Australia's a great country. There's lots of different things you can do.
Yeah, absolutely, and it wasn't just drinking. We weren't just going out and getting leathered every day. We were having a few drinks here and there. We were playing plenty of golf, going to nice cafes, having coffees, but yeah, we had a few drinks here and there. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just what human beings do.
Do you feel that you've still got authority over this team?
I think I've got a little bit of work to do to try and regain the trust of the players. I said sorry to them yesterday. I felt like I needed to say sorry for my actions. It's not acceptable, like I said, as a player, but as a captain, it's really not acceptable to do what I did in New Zealand, and I'll be the first person to say that. I'll hold my hands up.
Just finally from me, obviously you knew what had happened in New Zealand before a lot of England fans got on that plane to Australia, who'd spent a lot of money and time travelling there thinking that was England's best chance to win the Ashes in Australia for a very long time. What do you say to those supporters who now, and do you understand that a lot of those supporters are quite angry at what transpired, both with yourself in New Zealand and then performances in Australia? Yeah,
definitely, and they have every right to be annoyed. Like I said, I made a terrible mistake. I put myself in a situation which I shouldn't have done. Did it affect my cricket? I don't think so. I'd have still played the same way. Obviously, I didn't get a score that I'd have liked, but yeah, I still played the same way. I think that they played better cricket than us. And look, I'm extremely sorry to all the supporters for doing what I did in New Zealand, and I've got to try and regain their trust again in my ability in my cricket on the field and off the field. So I'm hoping that they can expect that I'll be slightly different away from the game. I'll be more professional, and that's what I've got to do now for the rest of my career, hopefully. And yeah, I just want to be back playing as good a cricket as I possibly can be.
Sorry, just lastly, what does changing away from the game, what does being more professional look like?
Well, not getting myself into a situation like I did in New Zealand.
Okay, we'll take a couple more and then we'll move on to the cricket. Do you want to ask a couple, Scott?
Harry, thanks for joining us. Did the whole stuff that's happened over the last couple of months sort of really hit home with just how big the role of England captain is, and to you personally?
Yeah, definitely. I said 3 or 4 times just then, it's not acceptable as a player to do what I did, but as a captain it's completely out of order, and yeah, I should have never put myself in that situation.
And forget Harry Brook, the England captain, for a second. Harry Brook, the person. You've spent a lot of time away from home over the last couple of months. You've got 6 or 7 weeks to come. How are you personally? 'Cause you've only had a week at home. I know you're very close with your family. It must be pretty tough to be in this bubble full of scrutiny and away from home, as I say.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine, to be honest. Yeah, it was nice to have that week at home and try and see family and friends and get away from it a little bit. But I'm all good.
And just finally, do you think that there could be more done? I know it's hard to ask about, you're spending so much time away from home. Do you think there could be more done to get out of the bubble and sort of switch off from cricket when you are on tours, especially in this part of the world where it's so hard to switch off?
Well, I've only got this tour now and the World Cup, and then I've got 3 months off, so I'll be back at home training, working hard, and hoping for a big summer this year. But that's out of our control. That's up to whoever sorts the schedules and whatever. It's up to them to organise. And I love playing cricket for England, and I'll go on every tour that I possibly can do.
We'll go to Tom, and then we'll go to Cameron, and then we're done and we'll move on.
Just going back over what you said. Appreciate you don't want to go into exact details, but are you able to just explain to the public just why you got punched? Did you get involved in something to be sticking up for someone? What exactly happened? How did you get punched?
No, I was just trying to get into a club, and the bouncer just clocked me, unfortunately. And like I said, I shouldn't have been in that situation from the start, and I just shouldn't have been there.
And in your words, you sort of leathered that night, but did you then go back to the hotel? Just to put to bed rumours that there was some suggestions you might have slept on a park bench.
Yeah, that's completely false. I was back in my hotel room.
Okay, good stuff. What time did you get back?
Late enough. Shouldn't have been there in the first place. I wouldn't say I was absolutely leathered. I was just, I'd had one too many drinks, and like I said many a times, I shouldn't have been there.
And how has Stokes reacted? Obviously, he probably might have had some decent advice, having been through sort of an ordeal early in his senior time with England. How have you had anything you've been able to share together just to get through this sort of situation?
Yeah, he obviously wasn't best pleased at what I'd done, but he tried to help me through it, and he knows exactly what it feels like to be in this situation. And we had a few conversations, but we quickly moved on from that and tried to look forward to the Ashes and what we could do to try and win that.
The timing of that night was particularly bad, though, wasn't it? I mean, do you really regret the kind of circumstances of you're on the road for so long? Everyone could forgive you for needing to let off steam, but the actual timing was particularly bad. Yeah,
definitely, and like I said many a times, it wasn't acceptable for a player, let alone the captain, to be putting themselves in that situation. And if I'd had that time again, I definitely wouldn't have gone.
And lastly, there's no problem with the drinking culture within the England squad.
No, there's no drinking culture at all. I think, like I said, everybody has the ability to say no. If you want to drink, if you don't want to drink, you're allowed to make that decision yourself. We just try and make a relaxed environment where if you want to have one, then you're allowed one, but if not, then you don't have to.
And last, just one question, Cameron, then we're done.
When you guys were at the nightclub, was it just you there by yourself, or were there any other teams?
We went out for a couple of drinks beforehand, and then I took it upon myself to go out for a few more, and I was on my own there, and like I said, I shouldn't have been there. I've made that terrible mistake. I reflected on it, and hopefully I can move on.